Further easing of restrictions for Sydney-siders. Sydney-siders have spent the day with a general easing of restrictions as well around mask wearing and also gathering limits. But now the announcement that the ACT from 3 p.m. are going to allow all Sydney areas into the ACT. The last one to fall as a COVID hotspot was the Cumberland Shire, and now that's been downgraded. So all of Sydney, welcome back to the ACT. But also most of Sydney now moving to the green zone for Victoria out of the orange zone, which means that you'll still need a permit if you go to Victoria, but you won't need to get tested and isolate on arrival. But the Cumberland Shire moves from red zone, meaning absolutely banned, to orange, which does mean you'll need to get tested and isolate until you get that negative result. The Premier, Daniel Andrews, releasing this statement as well, saying we're extremely happy to see the last red zone in New South Wales be downgraded. We're reminding people to get tested if they're returning from an orange zone so we can continue to enjoy an open and COVID-safe summer. The New South Wales Premier did talk this morning and it reaffirmed her position on open borders.
We're grateful that New South Wales is in the strong position we are. Unlike other states, we haven't shut down, we haven't shut our borders down. We know for regional communities in particular what a hindrance it is when you shut down your state borders. So we've made sure that we've kept borders open as much as possible, kept business going, but also allowed our regional communities to move freely around as much as possible.
Now, I did mention those restrictions also easing for Sydney-siders, and the Premier also did mention earlier this week that if the current trend continues, we had our 12th day in a row of 0 cases, that they'll be moving the hospitality sector from the 1 person per 4 square metre rule to the 1 person per 2 square metre rule. Here's more on the general vibe at the moment.
It's still recommended, isn't it? So as we're in that age group, we've decided to keep them handy.
I didn't know about that, so so I've just been wearing my mask still.
Probably wear a mask as I was doing beforehand. It doesn't hurt and it might mean that we won't get as much contamination, I suppose.
With Sydney's outbreak under control, it's allowed the Premier and the Deputy Premier to focus on other things. They've been up in Armidale today for the opening of the Armidale Secondary College, and the Education Minister has said that she's quite excited for this school year and hopes that it'll be way less disruptive than 2020.
This is about getting back to normal for our students. Last year was a bit disruptive and we acknowledge that, but there'll be a range of measures in place in our schools. We've got our COVID-safe guidelines in. We were able to ease a lot of restrictions in Term 4 last year, so we can see things like our sports carnivals, our swimming carnivals, inter-school events go ahead.
And Tom, the Premier also gave a special shout out to Year 12 students because we know they did it quite tough last year, and she said good luck for the year ahead, and that's the case for all students as the school year kicks off.